The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. And Bob, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, what a good victory by the Wayne County Yellow Jackets yesterday in varsity baseball action.
Good way to start the region for sure.
That's a good way to start the region, but we've got somebody on the phone with us right now. Bob, introduce them and go away.
We got Wednesday. We got State Representative Buddy DeLuch on the phone. Buddy, always good to hear from you. As we talked to Blake yesterday, it's winding down. About a week left to go in the session. So what's on the horizon for this next couple of days?
It's getting to be a very busy time, and I saw a good bit of our Senator Tillery yesterday. He was in Juvenile Justice Committee in the morning, and I serve on that committee, and he was in Judiciary in the afternoon with a couple of bills, and I serve on that committee. I was reminded when he was in Judiciary, as we all know, he's very concerned, as am I, about foster children. That's one of his passions, and he brought a bill that simply sheds some light and improves the process to help children in foster care move into an adoption situation so they have a permanent home. And as he presented that bill, I was reminded that some of these pieces of legislation that don't get a lot of publicity have a tremendous impact on the children and the citizens of the state of Georgia. And I particularly appreciate this one that he brought. It was a good piece of legislation.
And just joining us on the phone with his Buddy DeLuch, I read something interesting. I didn't know this was such a big issue, but hunters now can wear pink. Is that correct? That had to get approved by the legislature. They weren't allowed to wear pink before that.
We passed that bill out of the House. Representative Lisa Hagan from Lyons, Georgia, introduced that bill, and I don't know if it's going to make it through the Senate. I haven't checked on it, but there were some questions about people that have some vision problems. They might can see orange, but they can't see pink. So I don't know how that's going to turn out, and I'm not real sure what the reason for adding pink was.
So you think it's a visionary thing? I mean, I didn't understand.
Well,
I thought it was a fashion statement. I didn't know.
Well, that some people have brought that issue up, so I'm not real sure what it was, to be honest with you. But we passed it.
Well, yeah, the pink is not as easy to see as that bright orange, so it would be amazing that if it did get passed through the Senate and the governor signs it. I can understand ladies liking to wear pink, but that bright orange is it'd have to be some sort of bright pink to be able to sing like that orange is.
I think you're absolutely correct. I agree with you 100%.
Anything else we need to know? What else? Anything controversial coming up the next couple of days? Talked to Blake. Blake said the gambling issue is still on the table. He said he was surprised it passed the Senate, but now it has to get to the House. So where's that stand?
Well, there are several pieces of legislation moving, and as you know, we've had bills pass one body or the other in the past, and never got all the way through. And I'm not so sure this one is. We talked earlier about this fishing rights bill and the public trust doctrine and a bill we passed late last year, and it introduced the public trust doctrine. And I know many of our folks in the agricultural community are concerned about that because they thought introducing that public trust doctrine might have some bad effects on the agricultural community. So I think we got that straightened out. We're going to take the public trust doctrine language out of it, and I think that'll help fix that. But we got a lot of very controversial things. We had a bill on sanctuary cities that passed the House that says local law enforcement officers are subject to some penalties if they arrest an undocumented alien and do not notify ICE. So what that bill does is just put some penalties in place if law enforcement officers fail to abide by the law. And I was very much in favor of that. That's obviously an effort to do something about criminal aliens that come here and commit crimes over and over again and just get released. And that's what's happened too many times until they do something really bad. Over in the Senate, they have a bill that has to do with hormone blockers for young folks to delay puberty, and that has to do with sex change operations and that kind of thing. And that's always incredibly controversial for some reason. It seems to me that the public has a duty to protect youngsters from that kind of life-changing surgery, and parents really, while I believe in parental rights, I don't think they have the right to do something to a pre-puberty child that would change their entire life. So I support that legislation. There's an important piece of legislation moving in the Senate too that has to do with your tax assessments. Many local communities have this in law already, but it would limit the amount of assessments for homeowners in the state of Georgia statewide. It would limit it to 3%. School choice is coming back. People need to understand that has to do only with schools that have very, very poor outcomes for students, and it really deals with the lowest 20% in the state. I don't know that there's a school in my district that falls in that category, and I'm sure there's not one in Wayne County, so it wouldn't have any effect there. You can't move from one school to another and take the money with you unless you're in one of those failing situations. So, on a really exciting note for me, with some local flavor. And this is something that I went to Senator Tillery about funding for early literacy programs. And in the process of that, it so happened yesterday in the Capitol, Amy Dickey, and that may be a local name that you recognize. She is in charge of literacy. She's director of literacy for the State Board of Education. And the Senate has put a substantial amount of money in the budget for that, for our schools. And I learned so much about that. I taught reading to children and then to adults later in life. And so I'm very interested in that program. And technology, I have learned, is incredibly important, because now they can take these students that can't read, early young students, and run them through this software program, and it identifies what you actually need to do to help them read, and it works. It's an incredible help. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about our local folks that are having such a great impact statewide.
And the one subject you're on top of, that's the mining situation, Okefenokee. Where's that stand?
The bill that would have prevented any mining over there has not moved out of the committee. So we're right back where we were. I think they'll be able to go forward with this test mining. I think we will pass a bill that allows EPD to consider the past actions of anybody that applies for a permit, so they can look at whether or not they've had violations either in Georgia or in other states. So that's going to help some, and that's a bill that some of us thought was important. We need to we need to. EPD said they didn't have the right to consider violations in other states when someone applied for a permit, and this law will give them the ability to do that. And I thought that was incredibly important.
Yeah, buddy, you need this session to get over with, because once it's over, you got to hit the campaign trail. I understand you qualified to run for re-election, but you do have opposition. Is that correct?
That's exactly right. And I really look forward to spending more time out on the campaign trail, because that's when I learned so much about what's important to people. And if you don't do that from time to time, I fear that you lose touch. I've always tried to go to forums and do things and be part of the community, but this really tunes up your hearing, so you're more likely to hear and understand what people are saying.
Do you know who your opponent? You know who your opponent is? I haven't been able to find out who's running against you yet. I know Blake's.
Not. You can. Her name is Rebecca Moore, I think, but I haven't been able to find anybody that has ever heard of her before. But I'm sure that she'll run as good a campaign as she possibly can, and that's what makes our system work. But I look forward to it, and I feel very confident that I've tried to stay in touch with voters. I know an awful lot of them that have already contacted me and said we're willing to work in our community. We'll call our neighbors when this will be a November election. Of course, it's a general election. At the same time, we'll have the presidential election. So I think turnout won't be a problem, and if we get the turnout, I'm going to be fine.
Okay. Well, we look forward to seeing you soon. Again, they always have the post-legislative luncheon after the session's over, but again, it's winding down. Always good. It was always good hearing from you here on Wednesdays, and again, stay safe in Atlanta. We appreciate you calling in.
Thanks a lot. Enjoy.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
State Representative Buddy DeLoach here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup for this 13th day of March. All righty.
They qualified it there and say, like I said, Blake Tillery has no opposition, Stephen Meeks has no opposition, but the lady did qualify to run against Buddy DeLoach.
Is she from Liberty, McIntosh, Wayne? We know where she's from or anything about her? Okay, well, we'll find out.
That's the first time I heard her name. I said that.
Yeah, he hasn't heard it either, so apparently she hasn't been.
Don't know who she is.
Out and about. Okay. All right. Well, here we are. Well, we got the official announcement from the Wayne County Board of Education. We do have a new head football coach and assistant athletic director, Jay Mooring.
Yeah, apparently he's going to be John Mooring.
John Mooring.
Apparently he's going to be in town today, so look forward to meeting him, getting an interview with him, bringing you his comments here tomorrow.
All right. He's had quite a bit of experience coaching, and we hope that he enjoys his stay here in Wayne County, hopefully for many years, if he's successful. and look forward to meeting with him, have him on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, have him on the games and the coaches show and everything else every coach has done since the early 70s.
All the women are going crazy, saying how good-looking he is. So I got his first fundraiser. I'm going to get him to rent out the auditorium, $30 tickets, and have a women's clinic on football. So help him out, because they're arrived gone. All I hear
is he married?
Yeah, he's married.
Well, then, yeah,
these women are going crazy.
They're going crazy. Man. You got to be kidding me.
That's all I heard all weekend. Man, is he good looking? I said, I don't care if he's good looking. I want to know if he's a good football coach.
Yeah, he's a good football coach. With what he looks like. We want to make sure
but I got his fundraiser. Like I said, we have a women's clinic on football. Rent out the auditorium. $40 a seat, and we'll make money.
Yeah,
so
have pictures taken with the new football coach, assistant athletic director, John Mooring.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
And he's got a good track record. Everything I've heard from the coaches I've talked to, they say he's a very energetic, good football coach. So glad he's coming to Wayne County. Look forward to meeting him. So
what is he, in his 30s, 40s, do you know?
I think he's 39. I believe it. That's the resume I saw. Married with a child.
That's another young one then, huh? Yep. See, for you and me, that's young.
That's young.
I don't know what it is in football coaching years, but for us, that's young.
here he's a good football coach, and like I said, he's going to hit the ground running. Got to come in. Like I said, he's got a tough schedule, but man, the schedule is what it is. So.
It is what it is. You can't be the best unless you beat the best.
Got 6 state champions on that football schedule. I don't know many other teams that have a schedule like that, but that's our schedule. So.
Well, he knew that coming in, and as you mentioned in your sportscast over the last few days, what he likes is the fact that it's one community, one high school. Right. Everybody gets behind it. We got a very active touchdown club.
Everybody's a Yellow Jackets. So.
Yeah, and most everybody supports the athletics and wants to see more done for it.
I say expect to be in town today, so hopefully we'll hook up and bring his comments here tomorrow on local sports.
Okay. And so we look forward to having John on and Coach Moore on and over the next several years, and we wish him the best here in Jesup and Wayne County. Wayne County High School, new head football coach and assistant athletic director John Mooring, coming in from which school in Savannah?
Savannah Country Day.
Savannah Country Day was his last gig there, but he's been in college, he's been in high school. Look forward to having him here. All right. And the Wayne County Yellow Jackets, boy, what a way to start off the region play there by whipping up on Burke.
Yeah. Right now, the doubleheader is set for Friday. Like I said, they're having trouble getting umpires for Thursday over that area. So Coach McDonald says that as of now, that doubleheader is still scheduled for Friday. They were hoping to move it to Thursday due to rain in the forecast Friday, but due to not being able to find umpires right now, that doubleheader right now is scheduled for Friday over at Burke. So if it changes, we'll let you know tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Trying to get it for Thursday, but, we do have that chance of showers on Friday.
Once again, it's lack of officials.
Well, they have to change. They see the schedule, and they set their schedule around that and try to get them to change. And, they have to maybe leave work early or travel or whatever the case may be. So you can understand that, I've already got everything lined up for these days. And so they have to change their schedule. So we'll see what happens with that. But right now, it's still scheduled for Friday for the doubleheader up there in Waynesboro. And
they moved the JV game today. It's at 5:30. Jeff Davis here, so we want to see a good JV game. That's today at 5:30 at Howard Bell Warrenfield. And the championship game in the middle school between Arthur Williams and Pierce County, that time has been set. That's tomorrow over in Blackshear at 4 p.m. So get a chance to go over and support the Arthur Williams Middle School baseball team. Hopefully a good crowd over there. So that'll be a heck of a ball game. I think it was a 1-0 game last time they played. Pierce beat them by 1 run. So it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out tomorrow afternoon over in Pierce, but I'm sure there'll be a big crowd for that middle school championship game.
Mm-hmm.
So go Arthur Williams.
Go Arthur Williams. They got some great athletes this year.
Yeah, they got a real good baseball team.
Yeah, the Wayne Christian Academy played them in basketball, and they were good.
Got some special athletes on that team. It's an excellent baseball team. That Malachi Lightsey, H.A. Hickox, Ronan Dunham, Cohen Murphy, the list goes on. They got some good ball players on that team. Very good players. So hopefully they can go over there and get that championship tomorrow, bring it home to Wayne County.
That'd be great. Go Arthur Williams. Both of my sons went to Arthur Williams many, many years ago, way back in the last century, in the 90s.
And free agency continues. Derrick Henry, the big running back from the Tennessee Titans, has gone to the Baltimore Ravens.
They said that's a good fit for him. They like to ground and pound and good defense, that kind of stuff.
I hate to see that. Him hooked up with Lamar Jackson. Steelers have to play them twice. That's going to be a tough team to beat. I mean, could you imagine Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in the same backfield?
Who you going to try to stop? The guy that can run over you or the guy that can run around you?
Derrick Henry's impressive.
He is. I've enjoyed watching him through the years. I love a good running game, Bob. Give me a good running game over a good passing game any day of the week.
Especially late in the year, cold weather, rain.
Yeah.
He's all man. He's
a hoss.
He's a beast coming right at
He's a hoss. Yep. Somebody text in, Wayne County Middle School golf team takes second in whatever tournament they were in yesterday or golf match they were in yesterday. Ware won 207, Wayne County second at 211. I'm not sure what who else was in that particular golf match, but Wayne County Middle School. I guess they combined the two middle schools when it comes to golf.
I think they do.
Apparently, because every time we get something in from them, it's Wayne County Middle School golf team.
I said we got the JV results. I didn't get the middle school results.
So we appreciate those folks texting that in to us. And the $64,000 question, Bob, is I don't know what this is about. Where is the county meeting at and what time? That was sent in this morning. Is that?
County doesn't have a meeting. As far
I didn't
as
think
I'm
they.
concerned.
Where's the county meeting at and what time? They don't have a meeting this week that, or in the near future. They have one per month and then a one work session per month.
Sometimes they schedule a work session, but I don't know of any meeting today.
Yeah. So we don't know anything about the county meeting coming up. So nothing about that.
Glad the SPLOST passed. I said.
Yeah,
Paul
2-1.
Happy. Yeah.
Passed 2-1.
Sad thing is just 19% decided. I mean, where is everybody?
I don't know. I guess they were not interested enough in going. I went by yesterday on the way home, late yesterday afternoon, and I was the only one in there. They had, that was it. I mean, I went in there and voted, talked to a bunch of folks, and had a bunch of booths set up, and I said, they said you can vote on any of them. So it was hard picking which one of the booth I wanted to go to. Just oh my God, there's so many empty ones, And so voted and just did my thing on the way home.
Less than 20% turnout. Sad.
You got 3 weeks of early voting, a couple of Saturday votings, and then
Election day.
Election day, and 20%. Just I guess the issues there just didn't turn people on. Like I said, we're a society. We're a society where we're excited about the big things, the Super Bowl, the World Series, things that the presidential election. Even though local officials have more say so on our lives than national ones do, we still get more. We like the big things. You'll have a great turnout for the presidential election, and local elections you'll have 20% or less, and even though they affect your life more. That's just who we are, Bob. We like the big things, the big events.
It's just sad. People died for the right to vote. A lot of countries you don't have a right to vote.
Yeah, well,
that's what makes America
their
great.
choice
You
what
got
they want to do.
Yeah, it's just sad that 80% stayed home. That's unbelievable. 80% said, forget it. Don't have time for that.
Someone said there's a meeting today. Wow, we're getting a lot in. There's a meeting today between Jesup and Wayne County to discuss contracts. Have you heard that?
Haven't got that agenda.
It's a meeting between Jesup, I guess the city council, and the Wayne County Board of Commissioners to discuss contracts today. Is that right? Is that true? 1 p.m. at City Hall. At 1 p.m. at City Hall, Bob. You'll have the city commissioners there and the Board of Commissioners for the county, according to this text right here. So I don't know.
News to me.
It can't be news to you. If they're meeting, they're having more than 3 people for each one. They have to send out to the media the agenda and what's going to be going on. The fact they're going to meetings. I mean, it's the law.
I don't have any notice.
You don't have anything? Oh, they know where you are, Bob. They got your email address. They got your phone number. Was mentioned in the city's work session. So it was mentioned when the city had a work session that it was mentioned they're going to get there and discuss contracts. What kind of contracts? Would be the fire department? What other contracts would they do to discuss?
They got all kinds of contracts between the government.
Between
parties.
the two governments?
Right.
Okay. All right. I know they do fire. I didn't know what else. I know that they, the animal control issue is something that they discuss back and forth. I don't know what else.
They had an agreement before on the road department, on the maintenance shop.
Yeah,
things like
the
that.
road department. So I guess they do share a lot of different things there. There's going to be no quorum. So apparently they just have representatives from the city council and representatives from the commissioners that are going to be there. They're going to be not going to be a quorum there. That's the reason why you ain't heard nothing, Bob.
So there's no decision being made. So
No, well, they'll discuss stuff and then they'll take it back to their respective boards and for any type of action, I guess, to be taken.
glad to see the city's going to go back to a full-time DDA director. I thought
Yeah,
that
that's
that
good
was a
news, brother.
move.
Back to a full-time DDA director.
That was a good discussion yesterday at the retreat.
Way to go, city.
I was pleased to see that. So I thought that was a good conversation. Most of them saw the need for a full-time. It's been a part-time for the last several years. So
yeah.
the DDA people that are on that board, they've been pushing and hoping for a full-time DDA director.
Right.
So glad to see the city sees the need for that and voted unanimously yesterday at the retreat to do that. And congrats to Nick Ellis. Apparently he's going to be the full-time city manager as the other people.
The other three
withdrew.
just dropped out.
Dropped out. That was the announcement yesterday.
You
at the
apply
retreat.
for it and they all drop out, but Nick Ellis is a great guy. So
I think they saw the writing on the wall. Nick was the interim city manager. He was the odds on favorite to get it. So
yeah.
they just withdrew.
He's a young, energetic man with a lot of experience under his belt, with all kinds of experience, with all the things that he's done. So,
Wish him well.
he did sell. They have to wait 4 weeks.
14,
Is that right?
14 days.
14 days.
They have to wait 14 days.
14
state
days.
law to make it official.
To make it official, and it looks like Nick Ellis, the interim city manager, will be full-time city manager. And we wish you the best, Nick.
I told him yesterday, get ready to come on the Butch and Bob show in 14 days.
That's right. We got to have Nick there in 14 days. All right. Let's see what else is going on here. All right. Bob, of course, was wrapped up with the Wayne County baseball game last night as Wayne County beat Burke County, so he was not able to go to the Board of Education meeting last night. So he's tried to get a hold of some board members last night, and no phone calls or text messages were returned. And so he'll get the information today on if there was any vote or any discussion, more discussions on the situation of are they going to, what they're doing with the monies for the Ag Center and
ROTC.
the ROTC, and are there going to be any monies left over for the athletics? They had talked last year about building a $7 million Ag Center, and saying that ballooned up to $12 million from what we were told. And then there was some discussion. They didn't vote on their last meeting, and so we don't know exactly what happened on that, because Bob was with that ball game and then other things late last night and tried to get a hold of some board members, but no phone calls or text messages. Do you feel like you're the plague sometimes with Bob? you try to get a hold of some of these people who are representing the citizens of Wayne County, who expect to tune to us to find out what in the world's going on, and they don't return your calls or text messages?
I just can't understand why they won't come sit on this chair and be on the Butch and Bob show.
Yeah, We'd love to have them on the
that's
Butch
what I'm
and Bob
saying.
show.
The invitation's there. We just
Yeah.
can't get them. Well, I said, I'm still waiting for a response on the text I sent the superintendent on the fight.
Maybe he didn't get it. Maybe it's lost out there in text land somewhere, Bob.
I doubt it.
I always send two. If the person doesn't respond within a few hours, I'll text them back again. And then I'll give them a call. Didn't you get my text message? Leave a voice message, something like that. Let them know that I'm serious trying to get a hold of them. One text message for a lot of folks just ain't going to do it, Bob. And they might not get it. Let's see here. Anything else going on here? So as soon as Bob finds out today, all the discussions that were done at last night's Board of Education meeting concerning the Ag Center and the ROTC and athletics and stuff like that, you'll pass it along to y'all on local news here. But you can't be at three places at one time, can you, Bob? You try, but you can't be.
I went to two, did the ball game, then went to get the results on the SPLOST. That was more important. That was a countywide vote.
Yeah.
Wanted to see what the results were. I said, appreciate Paul Draw to get us the interview.
Appreciate that, Paul.
They were happy. So, like I said, but like you mentioned the interview, anytime you put a referendum on there, you just don't know how the people are going to vote.
You don't.
So, hats off to the Chamber of Commerce, and he mentioned that all the work they did behind the scenes, putting that pamphlet out really helped. I think. That was I don't know if you saw one of those.
Yeah, I did.
It was very informative. Had all the information on there. Not only did it have what the SPLOST 5 funds were going to be used for, but it went back and showed what their SPLOST 4 funds had been used for. So again, hats off to the chamber for putting that together and getting that information out. So information was there, I'm just shaking my head with only less than 19% of the people turn out to vote.
I don't really expect that in these type of elections like this. It's always going to be around 20%, so don't act like it surprises you, Bob. It's just the way it is.
It's just sad.
It's just the way it is. Yeah. And so you just move on.
Move on.
It passed. And
good news,
so
it passed.
It passed, and so I know that the mayors of Odom and Scriven are going, whew. And then, of course, the county and the city of Jesup are doing the same thing. And so there's a lot of different things that can be purchased with that over the next. And this is the 5th time in a row that the Wayne Countyans have voted for the splosh. And so that's, of course, they have voted for the e-splosh, what they've done to continue on to help out.
I'm excited to see that community center be built out there at Biltmore's Park with the competition pool and the gymnasiums that definitely needed for the rec center. So
yeah,
that's going to be a nice addition to Wayne County to have a community center with the competition pool for the Wayne County Piranhas, the Wayne County swim team. It'll be a nice thing to see. So it'll be interesting to see how that's all drawn up and where it's located, what all is included in there. But that's one of the projects that the county.
And it's going to have a basketball court, so they don't have to continue to use the school basketball courts.
They'll have their own gymnasium. So it's going to be a good thing for the recreation department, for the county in general, to have a competition pool. They said for years they've gone to one person's individual pool, and they've had to go to Hinesville, the YMCA.
Yeah,
so,
they have to use a pool in the backyard of someone.
And it's been a very successful program over the years. A lot of state winners in swimming. Got Olympic gold winner and David Larson. So
yep.
A lot of swimmers in Wayne County. So
it's amazing how well the swim teams have done using somebody's pool in their backyard.
Right. It's just going to be nice to have that. Besides, I think it's going to be a nice addition.
That's just hats off.
And the courthouse security is something that's been mandated by the judges, and
it had to be done.
You got to have
one way or another,
right? And courthouse security. We saw things happen in Atlanta where just you got to have. That's something that's definitely needed as well. So that courthouse annex is going to be a nice addition to Wayne County as well. So just nice to see the SPLOST pass. It'll be interesting how these projects, how quickly they can get them built and move forward with those projects. So.
And that all-purpose arena now that's going to have the cover on it. That's going to be on Sunset Boulevard. I can't look forward to all these events that can be held there for the next several years once it's completed.
And they'll help out, in case of bad weather. Like I said, events that are held outdoors can move there and just be able to be held, and don't have to worry. They'll have something to cover up, and keep them out of the rain. So it's all good.
Okay. Well, Bob, we're out of time.
Knock it up. Have a good day.
All right, have a good day. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup has been brought to you by First Southern Bank, Van's Barbecue, Murphy Builder Supply, and O'Quinn and Associates.